What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the Villainz Lair for our full spoiler Mortal Kombat 2 movie review. Now, I had the chance to see it last night with my son, and let me tell you, Mortal Kombat fans, movie fans, action fans, you will not be disappointed by what they put out there. First thing I want to talk about, let's talk about the good things. Let's talk about the things that I love, that we had such a blast with this film. And of course, if you're coming to see a Mortal Kombat movie, you are coming to see the fight scenes. And the fight sequences in this are ramped up 3 full notches from what we saw in the last film. Now, there was some good stuff. I really enjoyed Scorpion and Sub-Zero in the last film, but this one, my God, the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight. A lot of people watched that. The studio, for some reason, dropped a clip earlier this week that was almost the fight in its entirety, minus some of the gore and the finishing move at the end. But man, what a really, really cool sequence, whether it was Kung Lao's hat flying in and out of the battle, Liu Kang trying to use his fire power on Kung Lao. Just such a cool, really well choreographed fight sequence. I love the way that the hat is this spinning saw that throughout the stage or the fight is something that's constantly coming in and out of play, and it added this really, really fun and lethal, aspect to that fight. And then it ultimately ends with Kung Lao's hat getting turned on him, as Liu Kang is able to sort of trick him and eventually finish the fight, although he didn't want to do it that way. Another fight that I really enjoyed was the Sonya Blade Sindel fight. That was a really, really cool fight. I mean, it was just a lot of their using their powers as far as Sindel's voice power, but I really liked how they were able to navigate the stage. That's one of the things we'll talk about in a second here, how cool the stages and the environments were. That was a really, really fun part of the movie. Another fight that I liked was Johnny Cage versus Baraka. This is the fight that you've seen in the trailer. This is the fight that has been in many of the promotional images. Now it just got its chance to, shine in its entirety. And what you get is a really fun and funny sequence between Baraka and the environment and Johnny Cage, and how eventually, he's able to turn the tide and not really defeat Baraka, but sort of like impress Baraka so much that Baraka sort of just concedes to him and really sort of starts to fanboy over Johnny Cage. So that was a really, really fun moment as well. If you're also coming to a movie like this and you're a fan of the games, you're always looking for Easter eggs. You're always looking for little subtle things. And I loved the way they showed some of the moves and the skill sets of the fighters that were similar to, moves within the game. We saw in the movie on more than a few occasions, Shao Kahn using that charging shoulder to, either stun an enemy or, just miss and take out a pillar. And it was just really cool seeing that, and the way that they were able to improve upon that really rough version of him in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, about 20 years ago. Katana using her fans, super dope, super loyal to the game. And you could just feel Ed Boon's fingerprints on so much of this film, including a fun Ed Boon cameo where he plays a bartender as Johnny Cage gets sent to the tournament for his first fight. So the way like Katana was able to use her fans in various ways, including something we'll talk about here in a moment, battle stages. I mentioned that, but really cool. Like the environments, the battle stages they found from previous moments, like classic Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 battle stages, whether it was the portal stage, right? Whether it was the acid pit, which was really cool. Cole Young, rest in peace. I know that's a guy that I think we all kind of silently and respectfully hoped wouldn't last long in this movie. And spoiler alert for all this, he did not. And his death is devastating. It's more of a brutality than a fatality, but nonetheless, they finished him off, and then Shao Kahn basically swept him into the acid pit. But that stage looks so great. It looks they literally pan out once they're there to show the profile shot like it was right out of the game in the arcade with the stage with them facing off with each other in the acid pit arena. Super cool. Love that. That was one of my favorite parts of the entire movie as far as like an awesome Easter egg to like really nerd out on. Um, the humor really caught me off guard in this movie. And I know the trailer really tries to push Johnny Cage as the comic relief in this movie. But you know what? Kano, a resurrected Kano, his the steals every scene he's in. He is by far his lines hit the hardest. He is the has the funniest moments in everything. There are several jokes from Kano in this movie that will literally make you laugh out loud. And Kano was a really funny part of this movie. The a surprising person like no one saw coming, and maybe that's why the irony of it is Baraka. Baraka has some really fun moments in this movie, and I loved Baraka. Um, the way that they were able to pay off Johnny's bet or Johnny's promise to them at the end of the movie is super cool. Baraka has some really standout moments, and props to the makeup team because he is wearing a fully practical prosthetic and he is able to talk, and his jaw of, you know, massive teeth all looks like it functions properly. And for being a practical effect, looks amazing. And I will always be an advocate for the creature creators and the people that do prosthetics like that and are able to make movie magic the, you know, physical way. I mean, props to digital artists as well. What they do is in art form. But man, there is nothing like when you're watching something on screen and you know and you can tell it's practical and it looks hyper realistic the way Baraka did. So that is a special shout out I wanted to give to the team over there that worked on Baraka's makeup and everyone's makeup. The makeup, it looks great. So let's talk about some of the misses a little bit. And for a positive review like this, and a positive score that you're going to see that I give it, there's not going to be many of these. We talked about the humor, so let's just go back to Johnny Cage for a second. While Johnny Cage has some really funny references in real life, at one point he references Keanu Reeves, and there's a like John Wick joke in there somewhere. He feels a little forced at times, and you know the delivery is fine. Just I think that you know they knew that Johnny's character was supposed to be a comic relief sort of thing, and it just kind of ended up flat at times and really feeling forced. Carl Urban is a very talented comedic actor. I mean, his his liners and his delivery in the Star Trek series as Bones is the funniest stuff in the entire series. And I mean, the way some of his dry humor plays in The Boys, he is a super talented comedic actor with really good physical timing and a real knack for landing those laughs. But in this, it just felt forced at times. I know Johnny Cage is supposed to be a humorous a bit, but it didn't work for me as well as I probably would have hoped. We talked about the fatality that ends up happening with in the Kung Lao Liu Kang fight. Other than that fatality, there was Katana finishing off Shao Kahn at the end of the movie with a great homage, great throwback where she slices the top of his head off. His body hits the ground where you see the exposed brain, and it is like an end screen from MK10, like perfectly. So, you know, they really played that up as an homage. Perfect fatality finish right there. So we got to see those two, and I really wish we would have seen more. I mean, there were more than a few fights where because they're trying to do the noble thing, they don't finish them. It doesn't fight to the death. They let them, you know, walk in hopes that down the road that favor will be, you know, repaid to their team in some way. Um, so you didn't get as many fatalities as you got in the first movie. So that felt like a little bit of a miss. And then I will say the plot as a whole is not a plot hole, but it is, if you were going into this hoping to get a Mortal Kombat story mode from one of the recent games, it felt more like a game of towers where it was just give me the next one to the next one to the next one till we get to the end, right? And so while you got all the you know, the carnage and all the gore and the action and those sequences, it really was light on the development. I mean, the most development you get in the movie is Katana. Princess Katana is it opens with her as a little girl, and you sort of see how she rises into becoming this queen and eventually overtaking Shao Kahn. And that's basically the plot of the movie. We know that there's a tournament, and it's really a plot device to continue to get action sequences in the movie. Having said that, I that is a nitpick for me. I did not go to see this, you know, major plot. I went to see my favorite characters doing my favorite things for 2 hours, and I got all of that, and I got laughs that I did not expect, and I had a blast. I'm going to go with an 8.5 out of 10 for this movie. Mortal Kombat 2, so fun. If you're watching this right now and you're okay with spoilers and you haven't seen the movie, please go out and see this. If you've seen it already and you wanted to hear somebody talk about it and you want to talk about it with me in the comments, tell me what you thought of this movie. I thought it was so much fun. Such a cool theatrical experience. I got my popcorn bucket in the background right here. You'll see I've got a Shao Kahn one online right now if you want to buy one. And just a great time at the movies. That's our review. Thank you for coming into the Villainz Lair to hear about Mortal Kombat 2. I hope you liked it. And if you didn't, tell me why you didn't. Leave a comment and give us a like. Like the video. It really helps the channel. And subscribe, because we're going to be doing tons of movie reviews like this. We have our daily show Monday through Friday that we drop, and so much social content. So we hope to see you in the future. And thanks again for watching.